Have you heard of the phrase, less is more? What would you say if I told you I think that could apply to our Christmas? Now, don't worry, I'm not saying that we shouldn't celebrate and create special memories and traditions. It's the opposite, really. I think there is room for us to have one of the best Christmases ever, one with more worship, more joy, more peace. But there is something getting in the way. As a culture, we've moved away from the intimate, personal Christmas that you see in the Bible. Instead, December has become a season of excess, stress, credit card debts, unmet expectations. Somewhere along the way, the lie crept in that if we buy the perfect gift, if we have the beautiful table settings, if we get everything on the Christmas list checked off, our hearts will be full. But that's not what Advent is all about. It's the radical story of a God who entered into the world to make things right. When we begin to grasp what that truly means, it changes everything. And yes, I think it changes the way we spend. Spend less. Now, on paper, this can feel like the least exciting tenet of Advent conspiracy. Who wants to talk about finances and spending habits and budgets? What helped me with this tenet was thinking about it like this. In order to worship more deeply, in order to give more of myself relationally, in order to love others more, I needed to intentionally create some space in my life for God to move in. When the driving force of our Christmas traditions is consumerism, we miss it. We miss the beauty of the incarnation. We miss Jesus. But it's not enough to say no to the way Christmas is celebrated by many. We need to say yes to a different way of celebrating. So instead of mindlessly shopping online and ordering more than we know what to do with, we actually begin to take the time to think about each purchase. We thoughtfully evaluate what we support with our spending, and we allow our spending to support products, people, and causes that are worth being supported. We spend compassionately and responsibly, and the money we saved from spending less, we use it to bless other people. So how do we even go about making these kinds of changes? For starters, I'm not going to tell you how much to spend at Christmas, what you should and shouldn't do. This isn't about another rule you need to be following at this season. This is personal. I would recommend it's something that you and your family, if you're married, your spouse, you need to be praying about this. Ask God to reveal to you areas of your life where maybe your spending habits aren't aligning with His will. Now, in Matthew chapter 6, Jesus ends up talking about money and our approach to money, and He says these words, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth where moths and vermin destroy and where thieves break in and steal, but store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." Sometimes I think that we think in order to earn God's favor, we have to do these impressive things. We have to gain status. We have to have great wealth. But that's simply not the case. This once again goes back to your heart. Last time we talked about the meaning of worship and things we esteem and give worth to. We have to honestly ask ourselves, are our hearts worshiping Jesus during Advent? Or are our hearts worshiping material things? Sometimes that means saying no to something, or maybe it means starting a new tradition with your family and friends that doesn't include buying an expensive gift that you couldn't afford anyway. My prayer for us is that we would be overwhelmed by God's abundance this year, that we would even have the courage to try something new, to spend less, to free up our hearts and our resources for God. And along the way, we would be surprised at how much more we are able to experience the beauty of the incarnation. This is a hard topic for many of us, but I believe it's an essential part of experiencing Christmas fully. So take a few minutes, talk with your group, and share what you're learning and even what you're struggling with now.